of Tikal are an example. The pyramids of Abu Sir in Egypt is another example. The tomb complex of the Hongwu Emperor, the founder of the Ming Dynasty, it mirrors the pattern of the Pleiades. It's almost as if these ancient cultures are signaling to us or leaving a trail for us to follow that says, this is where our gods came from, or this is where humans came from, or the place that we're in fact trying to ultimately travel or return to. The Hawaiians say their royal ancestors came from the Pleiades. The Cherokee in East Tennessee say the same thing. So divergent cultures are saying exactly the same thing, and they're always the message: we were visited by beings who came from this star system.
And you have to wonder why. In this case, the Pleiades, to me, suggests that someone wanted to leave behind a message showing where they came from.
Exactly.
I think this is fascinating because it's basically a calling card.
We're going to go all around the planet, and we're going to build similar structures. You're going to see our calling card, and I always want you to remember the Pleiades.
I completely agree with you. And, you know, the fact, look, if there was only Corral worldwide that had this thing, then fine, there's no argument. But the fact that there are dozens of examples like that in ancient times, that is the point. You know, this whole excavation at Corral has put the entire region into a new light. And if you think about it, this excavation has only just begun. So who knows what we'll discover in the future and what other keys we'll find.
So are there amazing discoveries still to be found in South America? There may well be.
I absolutely think so, because there are vast swaths of areas in South America where, you know, who knows what we'll find in the future, because there's nobody there.
In 2019, archaeologists uncovered an ancient settlement in the country of Bolivia, just south of Peru, that dates back an astonishing 10,600 years. While excavation has not revealed a sophisticated city like Corral, experts believe that it is just one of many ancient sites still left to be uncovered in South America, and that it may only be a matter of time before we are forced to rewrite history once again.
Now we are coming with new technology, with new discoveries, so something new is beginning to show up. There are still a lot of remains, I am sure, without any doubt. What we see is the most 40% of the remains, meaning that it is between 60 and 70% that is still there. We might found or discovered another one, even older than Corral in some other places.
One has to wonder if one day archaeology will agree with us. And I think that this is the direction we're actually going, because they've always said, oh, you know, everything is established, we kind of know everything, and the truth of the matter is that they don't, and Corral has proven this.
Exactly.
Because when you look at these pyramids in different regions of the world, they correspond with each other. What the depiction of this staff god, one could argue, oh, you know, this is just a deity holding a staff or whatever, but the fact that worldwide, not just in Tiwanaku, not just in Corral, we have this motif of this being holding two staffs.
Right.
That is important.
Right. The message is consistent that extraterrestrials were not only intervening, but they were helping to advance us.
Well, gentlemen, this has been a fascinating conversation, and, you know, this is what's so great about Peru and that whole region, because it continues to give us new pieces of information.
Look, there can be so much more to discover, and no doubt it will shock us even more than what we found at Corral.
We're going to find something irrefutable very soon, I think. It's going to change everything.
Right. And I really think that, you know, the more archaeological evidence we find that is connected to the stars, with a combination of stories of gods that once were here, it'll only be a matter of time where even the most dismissive archaeologists will have to say, man, maybe these guys sitting at this table were right.
Exactly.
12,000 years. On Ancient Aliens, we've trekked across deserts, hacked through jungles, flown to remote islands, and climbed rugged mountains in order to investigate extraordinary sights that seem to defy any conventional explanation. We're going to look back at what I consider to be the top 10 ancient sites we visited. And you can decide for yourself, do these places hold the proof that Earth has been visited by extraterrestrials? When I think of all the mysterious sites we've investigated on Ancient Aliens, it's really tough to narrow them down to the top 10, and even tougher to rank them. Each of these sites offers compelling evidence that extraterrestrials visited our ancestors. And at one particular site in Peru, that evidence is imprinted right on the vast desert floor. And what makes it even more incredible is that you can only see it from high above the Earth. At number 10 on my list of top 10 mysterious sites, the Nazca Lines. Southern Peru, 1927. While hiking in the foothills of the arid Nazca Desert, archaeologist Toribio Mejia Cespe discovers what appears to be a large network of ancient roads carved into the earth. Years later, as airplane travel to the region becomes more frequent, aerial flyovers reveal nearly 100 other designs in the nearby landscape.
The Nazca Lines consist of these massive drawings or carvings, if you like, on the ground. Everything from geometric symbols, lines, to animals, even fish, birds. But the intriguing thing about them is, number one, they're massive, and they can really only be seen properly from the sky.
According to mainstream archaeologists, these mysterious earth drawings were created by the Nazca, an ancient people that flourished in the region between the 1st century and 8th century AD. But what was their purpose?
Archaeology has still no answer. In my opinion, it has something to do with the extraterrestrial. Our ancestors made these gigantic signs in the ground because they want to signalize to the beings up there, we are here, come down here.
If you leave Nazca and travel due west some 2,400 miles out into the Pacific Ocean, you'll eventually reach one of the most remote islands on Earth. It was discovered by Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen on Easter Sunday 1722, and he was amazed by the gigantic stone statues he found all over the island. They've become one of archaeology's greatest riddles. Mysterious site number 9, Easter Island. April 5th, 1722. Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen and his crew are 2,400 miles off the coast of Chile when they spot a small landmass completely isolated in the Pacific Ocean. As they draw closer, they are surprised to find that the remote island is inhabited. But even more unexpected are the giant stone figures staring out at them from the shore.
The statues on Easter Island, which we call Moai, are one of the great archaeological wonders of the world. We know they carved something like 1,000 of them over a period of probably roughly about 500 years, weighing tens of tons. No other culture in the world has ever done this, certainly not on this scale. In many ways, we still don't know exactly how they did it.
The Moai were found to have been carved from the volcanic bedrock at the center of the island. But exactly how the native people managed to move such enormous statues out to Easter Island's shoreline, in some cases more than 11 miles from the quarry, has been the subject of endless debate.
There have been many theories over the years as to how they were moved. The first theories thought that they must have been dragged horizontally on sledges or rollers or something of that kind. It was tried again recently for a TV film, and again they moved it a few meters, but it really doesn't prove anything. You're talking about several hundred statues, and it would depend on the size and weight of the statue, the number of people you had available to help, the distance you were going to go, the kind of terrain. So basically we don't really know.
According with the oral tradition and the legends, the people use the mana of the Ariki to make them walk. The Ariki were the god kings of the communities. The mana is a special energy or power that some Ariki and important people of the different tribes used to have.
So one has to wonder if mana was some type of extraterrestrial technology that allowed these stones to be levitated into place. Some have suggested that sound technology was used in order to move some of these rocks, because scientists have proposed that levitation technology can be achieved with one thing: sound frequencies.
This mana is an energy that no one understands today. Is it some kind of extraterrestrial energy? We just don't know.
You know, what's really curious is that so many of the world's most massive megaliths are found on islands where in ancient times resources and manpower were extremely limited. And on one island nation in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, you'll find some of the oldest and most enormous structures anywhere on Earth. Number 8 in our countdown of mysterious sites, the islands of Malta.
The Maltese Islands lie in the center of the Mediterranean Sea, just south of Italy. Scholars believe the first inhabitants migrated here from the nearby island of Sicily in 5200 BC. Today, stone structures on 2 of the islands, Malta and Gozo, are considered by archaeologists to be among the greatest achievements by ancient builders anywhere in the world.
There are engineering features in these temples that are just astonishing. We're talking about walls enclosing space, paved walkways, they were ceilinged at one time. Definitely much more complex than anything else that was appearing on Earth for a very long time.
In 2014, Giorgio Tsoukalos traveled to Malta to get an up-close look at its incredible megalithic structures. At the Temple of Hajarim, he met with Dr. Anthony Bonanno, a professor of archaeology and classical literature.
What does Hajarim actually mean?
Stones of worship or standing stones.
Like this one. I mean, check this out. This is huge.
Yes,
Wow.
3 meters high by 6 meters 50 wide and about another meter thick. That makes about 20 odd tons.
Minimum.
Minimum, yeah.
This is incredible. So this is one of the largest freestanding stones. I mean, when I see stuff like this, that's when I wonder,
How did they
how
carry it? How
was
did
it?
they quarried it in this case? Yes, they must have quarried
And
it
put
and
upright.
put it upright. Yes.
While visitors to these islands are immediately struck by the massive megaliths, one of Malta's most incredible structures remained hidden for centuries. In 1902, construction workers accidentally discovered one of Malta's most curious features, a mysterious underground sanctuary dating to 2500 BC. Called the Hypogeum, the subterranean structure was revealed to be 3 levels deep, all hewn from solid stone.
How could people from that far back, how could they know how to construct such a thing? If you look at some of the chambers, it looks like it's actually been carved with some type of a laser. So I don't know exactly how it was done, but I do know that they had a technology that far exceeds what we have today as far as stone cutting.
If you look at the way some of these walls have been cut, there had to have been a type of plan or construction plan beforehand. And one has to wonder if that engineering knowledge was imparted upon the builders, which were our ancestors, by extraterrestrials.
Could the incredible stonework found at the Hypogeum have been achieved using extraterrestrial technology? Curiously, the first archaeological investigations performed at the site in 1907 turned up more than 7,000 skeletons. And according to a National Geographic magazine article from May 1920, many were found to have unusually long skulls.
In 2014, I had the great privilege of looking at 5 of these elongated skulls. And they were very interesting because one of those skulls that I looked at had a missing sagittal suture.